Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to call the June 29th, 2026 Harahan City Council meeting to order. Madam Clerk, pledge, please.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call. Councilman Asbill.
Present.
Councilman Buddy.
Present.
Councilman Chatelain.
Present.
Councilman Johnston.
Present.
Councilman Ricks.
Present.
Mayor Baudier.
Present.
Police Chief LaPree.
Present.
City Attorney Scott Stansberry. Myself, Carrie Hughes, clerk, is present. Mayor's announcements.
Okay, I'm going to forego mayor's announcements to have a couple of special presentations included, so I'm going to ask Councilman Chatelain to amend the agenda to add to special presentations award for Chief LaPree, as well as candidates coming up to speak. We're going to move all you guys up to the front for their respective judge seat.
I'll make a motion.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Chatelain to amend the agenda. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Asbill. All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay, 5 yeas, 0 nays. Okay,
Take the candidates first.
come on. No, we're gonna. We're
No,
gonna take
the award first?
Yes, sir. We're gonna take the award first. It's all right. Now you're good.
Chief LaPree, would you please stand and join us? We'd like to present you with something from the St. Patrick Parade Committee of Jefferson. On behalf of the St. Patrick Parade Committee of Jefferson, for all the work that you do to help us in everything from trying to get everything set up in the morning, providing communication, security, all the things that you do for us, we can't thank you enough. And we really appreciate everything that you do for us. So as a gratitude for our appreciation to you, we'd like to present you with the 2026 Founders Award. This is the highest award we give from the St. Patrick Parade Committee, and it means a lot to us. Our founder, Johnny Morchese, we named this award after him, so that's why we call it the Founders Award. And this is presented to you, Chief LaPree.
Let me ask you a question. Can we get all of y'all up here with Chief LaPree? Are we gonna all come up on the dais? Come on. Let me get all the councilmen.
I had no idea. That's why you'll probably wonder why all these green guys. I know.
Yeah, get them green jackets mixed up in there. Any way you want, just get the green jackets all mixed up in there. Make us all look good.
I can see over you.
No, let's look at Mark. Let's look at Mark first. They got it.
Like that. Thanks. Thank you, my friend. Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Always surprised you. I didn't. I do it because I want to help you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Y'all be good.
I'm always there. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Well, that's a show. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you all.
All right, now we're going to bring up the judge candidates. When you come up, just make sure you announce the seat you're running for, just so we know and kind of give us a little feedback, a little filling in. Well, they've been planning that with me for a few weeks now.
Good evening. I'm Sal Piccato, candidate for Judge, 1st Parish Court, Division A. So I want to tell you a little bit about Parish Court. Obviously, in Jefferson Parish, we have district courts, and we have the Parish Court on the East Bank, which is 1st, and the West Bank, which is 2nd Parish Court. This court handles civil matters. It's actually just been increased to $50,000 by the legislature. It was 20 forever. It handles criminal matters, which is on the East Bank, your misdemeanor cases, and traffic matters, of course, not in City of Harahan and City of Kent. So we have Judge Olivier is retiring after 30 years. who is a Harahan resident. I'm sure y'all know who Judge Olivier is. She's a very well-respected judge. She's run that court very efficiently. That's why when she made her announcement, so to speak, or made it known she was not going to seek re-election, I knew it was a great opportunity for me. Tell you a little bit about my background. I started off my professional career as a police officer. Started with NOPD, spent 3 years with the New Orleans Police Department. At that point in my life, my wife here, Lisa, we decided to move to Jefferson Parish. We were already married. We knew that this would be a great place for us to raise our family. However, I had a problem. I was with NOPD. So I went and met with the great late Harry Lee and was looking for what we call in law enforcement a lateral transfer, which means because I was already post-certified, I didn't have to go through another academy, so to speak. So he granted me that. Started with JPSO, we moved to Metairie, spent 12 years there, and then retired with Newell Norman. Still keep up my retired post commission to this day, because it's important to me that I earned that post. My legal background, for the past 27 years, I have been running my sole practice in Metairie. And I'm so proud of the practice I've grown, because I started out with one case. It's like those stories, you hang out your shingle and hope for the best. That's me. I've been a sole practitioner my entire career, and like we say, it's one case at a time, one day at a time. I've handled all types of cases, civil matters, criminal matters, and traffic matters. Guess what? That's the same 3 types of cases that I handle at First Parish Court. That's why I'm running in this race. And through that 27-year career, I've represented close to 4,000 clients on state court and in federal court. This is not my first election. So I was encouraged about 3 years ago to run for the State Central Committee and the RPAC, representing Jefferson Parish and the Republican Party, and I won both. And I had a great opportunity to spend time in Baton Rouge with the State Central Committee and meeting other Republicans, and also the RPAC meetings, as y'all know, is the endorsement meeting. And unfortunately, I had to resign from both of those posts to run for judge. Let me tell you, this is what I'm about. The way I'm telling people on this journey and this campaign, I've seen all sides of a courtroom. I've testified on the witness stand as a police officer with NOPD and JPSO. I've stood at a podium just like this and presented 51 cases to trial before judges and juries in those 27 years in both state and federal court. And I've sat as a traffic hearing officer, similar to y'all magistrate court. So the 2 elected judges, Judge Olivier and Judge Lee, they handle the morning docket. They appoint attorneys like me to sit as a traffic hearing officer. Judge Olivier appointed me for 5 years and Judge Lee for 4. I don't know anyone else that was appointed by both judges. They get to choose their own judges. So it was great to me that they both trusted in my ability as an attorney and my background to be able to sit. In those 9 appointments, I handled over 16,000 docketed cases. Now, this may surprise you. People do go to trial in traffic court. So in that time, I've also had the opportunity to preside over 10 full trials, which was probably what gave me the bug to run. But again, everything in life is about timing. If Judge Olivier would have stepped down 2 years ago, I don't know if I would have been ready to run, just with my busy practice. But I knew this is a great opportunity. These seats don't come up often. And again, having a 30-year judge, a veteran judge who's done such a great job, it's important to me now. Got to give up my law practice. I'm giving everything up to do this, to go take this opportunity and serve the public in a different role. Thank you all so much for the opportunity. As y'all know, the election's November 3rd, like everybody else's election. Thank you. And I got some push cards I'm going to put over here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Rains. I'm running for First Parish Court, the other division. So Sal's running for A, I'm running for B. I'm running for Judge Johnny Lee's seat, who is going to be aged out. I've been a prosecutor now for 23 years, and that time has been all at Parish Court. So 2 years at Second Parish Court, 21 years at First Parish Court. I know how the court operates, I know how it runs, I know what ideas I have to make the court run even more efficiently. And honestly, coming from a defense attorney's perspective from Sal, I'm the complete opposite. I am the one prosecuting those cases. So the 16,000 cases that he's handled, I'm probably 160,000. Because my name is on all the traffic cases. I've had hundreds of misdemeanor and traffic trials. It is, because in nature, that was my job, to prosecute the cases. So we accept the cases, we screen the cases, we interview police officers, we interview witnesses, and go forward, with our trial if we need to. I pride myself on having a great relationship with everybody, the judges staff, which is very important. You don't want to mess up with the judges. But with also defense attorneys, victims, and witnesses, it's crucial that everyone have a fair day in court. And being an impartial judge means the most to me. Yes, I'm coming from a prosecutor's standpoint, but I've seen all aspects of how a defense attorney and how defendants should be treated, and I plan to do that as well. A little bit about myself. I am a lifelong resident of Jefferson Parish, 4th generation, grew up in Kenner, and now live in Metairie with my family. My husband's a fireman in Jefferson. One of my children's a fireman in Jefferson, and I have another one who's an LSU senior and a senior at St. Martin's. So we're embedded in the community. We serve, we volunteer. I'm with the Kiwanis Dawn Busters. I'm with the Kenner and Metairie Rotary, very active at St. Martin's. We fundraise continuously for St. Michael's Special School. We're just very service-oriented family, and I would like to continue that service in the role of judge. Again, Jessica Raines, Division B, 1st Parish Court, elections November 3rd. Thank you.
Jessica.
And where does your son live?
That's right. My son is a new resident of Harahan. He's 19, just bought his first house here in Harahan.
Thank you.
Rock, paper, scissors? Good afternoon. My name is Joseph McMahon. For the past 33 years, I've been in a courtroom almost every day. How did I get there? Well, I'm born and raised in Jefferson Parish. After graduating from Jesuit, Spring Hill, and Southern University, I began my practice with the New Orleans District Attorney's Office. There, as a prosecutor, I prosecuted armed robberies, burglaries, drug cases, sex crimes, and murders. In fact, I have sent 15 people to Angola on murder convictions. When I left the District Attorney's Office, I went into civil practice, and for the last 25 years, I've run my own firm. My civil practice included accident cases, insurance company cases, business disputes, family and domestic matters, successions, and class action lawsuits. In addition to that experience, I've served in the city of Kenner for 2.5 years as a judge in the mayor's court. So, it is all this, and over the course of my career, I've tried 150 jury trials. I've represented parties in 1,000 civil cases in Jefferson Parish and thousands more throughout southeast Louisiana. I have done a lot of things in a lot of different areas of the law. And basically, it's this experience that's prepared me to serve the people of Jefferson Parish as a judge. I'm running for Division F of the 24th Judicial District Court. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Division F is currently Judge Mintz.
It is.
Is that right?
Judge Mentz, and Judge Mentz has to step down. He's aged out.
Thank you.
How y'all doing today? Guys, how y'all doing today? Do you believe in God? Yes. Yes?
Yeah.
I believe in God. I'm a husband. I'm a father of 2 kids. My daughter Bella, who's 9. My son Parker, who's 5. They both go to St. Catherine's. They're the world to me. I'm going to stand up here and I'll pitch you my resume like everybody else did, but I want to tell you about Marco. So I'm Marco Marianovich. I didn't pick the last name, I didn't pick the first name, a lot of letters, I would have gone with Mark Smith. But that wasn't in the cards for me. I'm running for judge in the 24th Judicial District, Division F, because I want to serve you. You, sir, and you guys. I've dedicated my entire career to service. I started off same parish court that they talked about. I prosecuted traffic tickets, 1st parish court, 2nd parish court, night court. Went to, was in the DA's office in Jefferson Parish, juvenile court, felony court, did it all. Multiple different jurisdictions, multiple different courts handled cases. Protected children who were raped by people. I'm proud of that. If I die tomorrow, if I see God tomorrow, I can say, hey, at least I did something right. After that, I left to go work for the Attorney General. Worked for Jeff Landry at the time. He's now our governor, prosecuting cases. This time, not just in Jefferson Parish. This time, I went to the state. I went Ascension Parish, East Baton Rouge Parish, Terrebonne Parish, Allen Parish, because I wanted to serve. I got the chance of a lifetime when Sheriff LaPinto, my former boss, I had to step down to run, let me come in and serve the deputies. Law enforcement, men like the chief here, men who clock in at night when us lawyers are going home to our families, they're going out in the street. Any officer-involved shooting, I get a call. I'd get up at 3 a.m. and I'd go to that crime scene as a lawyer. Was I doing anything? No. But I wanted to be there for them because they are there for us, for your children, for your family. Again, Marco, like Polo, M-A-R-K-O, for judge.com. I got to pitch myself. Go on Facebook. I'd love a like. I'd love a follow. Please, please let me serve you guys. Please. And thank you for the time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a quick comment. We do things a little uniquely here. We let candidates come and talk. We think it's a great service to offer to the public for the city of Harahan to get there because this is viewed by a lot of citizens. And so I really appreciate you guys coming. That's really awesome that you guys have taken the time to come sit and introduce yourself and tell us what you're running for. And again, it's great. Thank you guys so much. I wish you all the best. I've run for office 7 times. I know how brutal it can be. And I'm sure there's an 8th one in my future. So, but again, I just wanted to personally thank y'all guys so much for coming on out. And you're welcome at every council meeting.
I think we have one more, Mayor.
You ready?
I think we have one more candidate. Is that right? No? Oh, okay.
All right. You got it.
We also, just to let the citizens know, we do vote on every one of these candidates coming up. I mean, that is a Jefferson Parish ward. So these seats are open. We will be voting on these seats. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you guys. Madam Clerk, special presentations?
We have no special presentations. Approval of minutes, reading of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st, 2026.
I have a motion by Councilman Chatterley to approve with the dispense of the reading of the minutes. Will now open for public hearing. No one coming forth will close public hearing. I have a second by Councilman Chatterley to dispense with the reading of the minutes.
He can't.
No, sorry, Councilman Riggs. I'm looking at Councilman Riggs, saying Councilman Chatterley. All right, all in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Approval of the minutes of the council meeting on May 21st, 2026.
We have a motion by Councilman Buddy, second by Councilman Asbill to approve those minutes. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth will close public hearing. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Okay, communications, reading of the minutes of the Board of Adjustment meeting on May 20th, 2026.
We have a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the Board of Adjustments on May 20th, 2026 by Councilman Johnston. Anyone want to come speak for or against, please come to the podium. No one coming forward. We'll now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Chatterley. All in favor?
Before we vote, I'd just like to make a comment.
Oh, I'm glad you were going to do this because I was going to do this as well. Go ahead.
Oh, boy.
You were reading my mind out there.
Yes.
I'll move my lips and you can say the words. No, this is not very flattering. We had 2 members show up. We didn't have a quorum. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 members that didn't show up. And I know most of these people. I don't know why they didn't show up, but it's disappointing, and I think we may need to consider searching for replacement members. That's just a general comment.
I think they have a rule in this. We have to talk to Steve Villavasso. If board members miss so many meetings, they are to be terminated or removed from the board. So we need to check with Steve because, look, all these guys are my friends. I know them a long time, and they've been supporters of mine for years. But we just need to move. We got to have people represent the city. To have when they go to the variance board, they need to have representation, and these guys are not showing up. So we need to do something and replace it with people that want to represent the citizens of Harahan. Yeah. So I mean, I agree with Tommy, with Councilman Buddy. We need to do something. We got to check with Steve. But there is a rule that says If they don't show up at so many meetings, you can terminate them or
So-
remove them.
If anyone's interested in being appointed to one of these boards, feel free, reach out to us, and we'll make them appointments and see if
Well,
we
the
get this.
Board of
Yeah,
Adjustment is a little different. You got to have some kind of qualifications in the Board of Adjustment. That's like the plan, that's not like the
Understand.
Plan and Zoning Board. That's why we need to get Steve Villavasso involved, so he can let us know the qualifications that for this board is an autonomous board. It's not like the Plan and Zoning Board where the council can override them. This is an autonomous board, and whatever they rule on goes through unless we want to sue them to the 24th Judicial. So we got to make sure that we get people that have the qualifications to represent on that board. So that's all I'm saying.
And they need to show up.
Yeah, I'll make a comment as well. We are looking for good people to serve. We know it's voluntary service, and we appreciate that, but we do need people to show up because these are important matters. At this last meeting, there was a family that was applying for an adjustment to build special housing for their adult special needs child, and they could not move forward with that plan because they didn't have a quorum. So we need to make sure that we have people who want to volunteer for this board and actually show up and attend the meetings. I understand what Councilman Johnson is saying regarding qualifications. I think the only qualifications are just to be a landowner in the city for the Board of Adjustments or Board of Appeals.
It may be right, but that's why you need to talk
Yeah.
to Steve.
Okay.
that's
And
Steve.
there is an attendance requirement of 75% of the meetings that are called, so. I would just ask, I guess, at the next meeting, we'll present the attendance numbers and perhaps make some changes, be ready to make some changes, whether it be removing people or adding people.
Can you get the attendance numbers and
We have
maybe get
them.
it out to the
I gave
councilman?
them,
Yeah.
Okay,
I gave them to him already,
awesome,
but I
thank you.
can send them to the rest of y'all.
Okay. Okay, so all in favor to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the Board of Adjustment Appeals, May 20, 2026, all in favor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Approval
yeas,
of the
zero nays.
minutes of the Board of Adjustment meeting on May 20th, 2026.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. We now have a motion by Councilman Asbill to approve the minutes for the Board of Adjustment, May 20th, 2026. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. We'll open for public hearing. Comes forward, speak for or against. No one coming
Who
forward.
wants to
Up.
speak?
So on the Board of Adjustment,
Come to the
You got to
podium,
come to the
say your name.
podium, please.
Carol LaGreco, 101 West Imperial Drive. I'm actually on the Board of Adjustment, and in 3.5 years, we have now had only our third variance that comes before the Board of Adjustments. Most of the time, we don't get notice of the variance hearing until a day or so prior. One of them was a week prior, one was a day prior, and one was the same day, and that was the last one, because I didn't attend because I had another meeting, and so we need to get prior notice, and there needs to be a better way to inform us so that we can actually investigate the situation so that we know what's going on, so we can actually, make the process of the hearing go much quicker.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And
So,
when you get a chance, if you can send me confirmation of when the notice was sent out so I can
yes,
verify.
but also, like, the meetings are set, like, the beginning of the year, and they should have been sent out to the board members, so they should have their meeting dates already prior. They may not have a variance that day, so they don't have a meeting, but the meeting dates are set at the beginning of the year. So she should have a copy. If she doesn't, I'll make sure she gets one.
Okay, thank you.
What
Thank
she's
you.
saying is that in 3 years, I've only had 3 variances come before the variance board. So that means therefore that there's no variance come before the variance board. Why? There's got to be variances going on in the city. Are we just ignoring variances, giving people carte blanche on doing stuff in the city? There's got to be some kind of variances. They had variance meetings before, but the last 3 years, they've only had 3 meetings. That's uncalled. That's unheard of, to have 3 meetings in 3 years on variances. I just can't believe that.
Well, not 3
I
meetings.
don't think that is
They've only had 3 variances
yeah.
in 3 years. That is uncalled for. That is unbelievable. It's like in the election when Trump got 1 vote, no votes out of 100,000 votes. It's unbelievable.
What-
That can happen.
Councilman Johnson, I'm going to go to discussion. What was your number one variance that we used to have? 7-foot fence. We raised the ordinance where you could have a 7-foot fence.
But they
So
have
people aren't
they
coming
gotta
in
have
for that
people with-
anymore.
With generators and other things. They've got to have other things, Councilman Chatelain. They've got to have other things, not just a 7-foot fence, 8-foot fence. There's got to be other variances going. People are building new houses. You can't, if somebody builds a house, they can't adjust the house for them, you got to go with the rules, you know, you got to make them go with 10 feet, 15 feet, 5 feet, whatever the size of the lot. If it's a 50-foot lot, a 5-foot variance, a 75-foot lot, it's a 10-foot variance. I mean, a 10-foot side area. People, it's just unbelievable that we had 3 meetings in 3 years. I just can't believe that's possible.
Chris, would that all be covered?
That's all I'm
Would
saying.
all that be covered in the initial, in the initial transgression between, you know, you and that person, right?
That's correct. When I can advise people how to build a project without needing a variance, I get that question a lot. I can't answer for, I've only been here since last July, and we only had reason to have one Board of Adjustment meeting when we were there, because not all variances apply to the Board of Adjustment. Some go to the Planning Commission, you know, some are just a matter of, you know, whether or not something can be 3 feet or 5 feet or whatever. Some things are matters of material science that are supposed to go to a Board of Adjustment hearing. If I can advise people on how to not need a variance to keep a project going, I will. So it saves a lot of time, and it saves a lot of aggravation and a lot of cost on the builders or the individuals. And if you tell somebody, hey, move it over 2 feet, and you don't need a variance, rather than, but some people say, no, I want it there, and then they have to have a variance.
And I guess what I'm saying is, in the past, Paul, we may not have had the best person in that spot who's doing the same job that Chris is doing by giving them the information correctly so they can move forward without having to go through all of that. So that was my only comment.
We're talking about new construction. I'm talking about people.
I am too, but the
Okay,
gentleman,
I'm
the
not-
gentleman's informing the people as
Right,
they
I
come
understand
in
that.
what
I'm
they
talking
need
about-
to do, unlike what we had in the
I
past.
understand that, but I'm talking about present houses, people buying generators, they may have to get a variance. And look, I'm not just talking bad, Chris, this has been
Well,
going on for a long time,
like to
which is
answer
some of the
for
new
that.
construction. What you're doing is great. You're telling the people what they need to do, so they have to go for a variance. But they got things going on before your time, that people, they built stuff. I know they got houses in the city of Harahan higher than 35 feet, and they were allowed to do it. That's against the rules. They got an ordinance up tonight to go up to 45 feet, which I think is ridiculous, but I will speak that when it comes to time. But they got variance in the city that there should have been variances, and nothing came before the board. But I'm not talking about new construction, I'm talking about people that have houses in there now where there should have been variances done. And I've seen it around the city, and nothing's been come before the council, before the variance board. So that's all.
Well, can I answer that and help respond to that? Because the last variance prior to the one that nobody showed, because when the variance board goes to a meeting, the only reason we really need to have a meeting is for a particular variance, because we have the codes and the ordinances already in place. It's not our job to look at them to try and change them and to make a difference in the rules and regulations. It's just the job of the board to make sure that everything's being followed according to the codes and the ordinances of the city of Harahan. And prior to that, you know, a lot of things, there were over 300 permits that were issued by the city of Harahan within two years, and we had less than 2 variances come before the board, which that was prior to when we had the new CBO. Yes, that's true, but all of these things that came before, one of the gentlemen who's building the dive shop on Hickory, he was sent to the variance board, and he didn't need a variance, and he just needed to go get some work done and needed somebody to tell him that he needed to reincorporate his property into one piece of property. But he spent all of the money going before the variance board without the knowledge of knowing that he didn't even need to go to the variance board. He could have built on his property, but there was certain rules and regulations that he had to follow. But so he spent all that money for nothing. And we couldn't give him a variance because the property was not all incorporated into one, so there was no way to give a variance. So it is true, we need to have somebody who knows what's going on so that
Thank you.
we can do the right job.
Okay.
Got it. Move to approve the minutes. Did we do that already?
No, we did not approve
Okay,
it
move
yet.
to approve.
Thank
the
you,
minutes.
Carol.
We have a motion to approve the minutes. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays.
Okay, resolutions. Proposed Resolution 2026-4. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Chatelain. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan, Louisiana, accepting the contract with TEH Enterprises, LLC for the Harahan wastewater treatment plant slab for new centrifuge as being substantially complete.
All right, we have a motion for proposed resolution number 2026-4 by Councilman Chatelain. Will open for public hearing. Anyone wanting to come speak for or against, please come to the podium. No one coming forth. Will now close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Asbill. Council discussion?
Y'all should all got a letter stating that it's substantially complete, so I think we're ready to move forward with this.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to approve. All in favor?
Yeah.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
Proposed Resolution 2026-9. The following resolution was offered by Councilman Chatelain. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Harahan authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Linfield Hunter and Junius Incorporated for FP&C Project 50-MC1-24-02 for emergency road repair replacement for OK Avenue and Elfer Street, planning and construction.
Okay. At the guidance of Councilman Johnston, from his former mayor knowledge, he made a recommendation that we get out and try to maybe do streets a different way than trying to make them concrete and try to make it a little bit more cost-effective and spread the money out to more streets. We actually come into the FP&C. His argument was that, why do we need an engineer to lay blacktop? Well, the truth is FP&C drives that bus, and it's by their discretion that they're saying we need an engineer. And so we have to bring on we're bringing on Linfield Hunter and Junius as the engineer for the project.
And what does it cost on that?
We don't know
On
yet.
page 5 of,
The engineering?
Yeah.
yeah, it's substantial.
Yep.
Once again, I express my displeasure
Yeah.
of the state making us come up with like $100,000 for an engineer, over $100,000 to do a $278,000 job. I think it's ridiculous. A $238,000 job, I think it's ridiculous, but you got to follow their rules.
Yes, sir.
It's
I understand that.
It's actually a contract for $220,000 as I read it.
238 for the street.
No, $220 for the engineer,
Where do you see that?
not to, page 5 of 9.
I'm looking at the street, 48,000 lump sum, 10,000
That's-
budget,
that's-
10,083.
That's the engineer's cost.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's 200, you add all that up to 87 for fixed engineering, and then the supplemental fees. The supplemental fees are 140.
Well, I missed that 87, so it's over 200,000.
Yeah, just in the
I thought it was
engineering.
like 140, so it's 200,000
So
for
let me ask you this.
$238,000 job. That's totally ridiculous, but we got to follow the state rules.
Right, we're not getting the money if we don't follow the rules.
Okay, I understand.
How
that.
much is the-
I understand that, but, excuse me one second, buddy. So have we shopped engineering?
You don't have to shop engineering, but no, we have not. No, this is not.
They are-
All the fees are set by the state?
It's all set by requirement.
And one question I want to ask you, I think I asked you last time.
Engineers shop the state.
Yeah, right, exactly. Engineer, screw the state, yeah, shop the state.
Why are we not using the parish's asphalt contract? Why are we going out on our own?
We did that. We actually submitted to FP&C.
Do we save money by going
No,
on our
they
own?
rejected it.
They rejected you.
Yes, sir. We did submit it.
So,
Did they give a reason why they rejected us?
They-
Send you the email, but I don't remember.
so what's
parish
the grant
rejected
amount
us?
on this?
$1 million.
How much?
$1 million.
No, for this
Us
project.
using
$1
the
million.
parish piggyback?
Okay.
Unbelievable. Okay.
Elfer and OK was
At
$1
least you
million.
tried.
Clerk, that's correct. Elfer and OK is $1 million, right?
So
Yes.
it's budgeted.
That's the quote for the,
No,
I mean, that's the grant.
Oh, that's a grant. I'm sorry. That's what I thought you were asking, yes.
So,
grant's a million.
so it's going to be $1 million. Do we have a quote yet on the value of the work?
We waiting to get, so once FP&C starts to set all of the parameters in for the street, then we'll get a quote on the work because they're going to set that out to bid.
Okay, all right. One other question, do we plan on going out for public bids? Because the wording in this is it's an emergency road repair replacement. And I don't know, well, this is very important. I don't know why this would be an emergency. And I guess an emergency would allow us to avoid public bidding potentially?
No, not with FP&C.
Okay, so we're going out for public bids.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay. All right, all in favor of proposed resolution number 2026-9?
As I say, yay.
Yay.
Ordinances for approval. Proposed ordinance 2026-6. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill and seconded by Councilman, who would like that one?
I'll second.
Chatelain. An ordinance amending ordinance number 1333, the comprehensive zoning law of the city of Harahan relative to height regulations for single-family residential structures in the R-1A Single Family Residential District.
Okay, anyone who would like to speak on proposed ordinance number 2026-6, please come to the podium. No one coming forward. We'll close public hearing. Councilman Asbill?
Council, this is scheduled to go to Planning and Zoning first on Wednesday, so I'm going to make a motion to defer to the regular July meeting so that we can hear Planning and Zoning Commission's opinion first.
Can we have some discussion
I'm
about that?
happy to have discussion if you want to have discussion.
What does the ordinance pertain to exactly?
The ordinance raises the maximum height value of a home in Harahan to 45 feet.
No,
However,
55.
I'm sorry,
45.
45.
To the peak, 55, right? Did I read
no,
that?
it's, no, there's no
45.
peak language.
Okay, 45,
Okay,
thanks.
so,
The maximum livable space cannot be built above 30 feet.
okay, that's fine, but I have a question.
Okay.
So as far as insurance premiums, things like that, does that affect, the insurance premiums for everything around it, I guess I would ask?
So that's a great question. I checked with the insurance service office. The only thing that would require, the only thing that it would affect would be the fire rating. And that's why we kept the livable space below 30 feet. Because if you go above 30 feet, if you have a certain percentage of residential that goes above 30 feet of livable space, you're now required to have a ladder truck, which we do, but right now we count it as a tanker, or we count it as a pump.
So
So
what is
then
our-
we would have to have 2 pumps and a ladder, which we would not have.
What is our fire rating now?
Our fire rating now is a 3, I believe.
3.
Yes.
Just made it. We
And
got a
so, in doing that, would we have to purchase another $1.5 million fire truck?
This does not make us, I skirted that by doing it this way.
If you went over 30 feet livable space, you would have to purchase.
Is 30 feet livable space clear in here? I don't see it. I see a 35
I'm sorry,
foot.
35, it's 35.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that,
35 foot
35
of
foot
livable
livable.
livable,
space
so 3
is the
stories.
maximum we can have without buying the $1.5 million fire truck?
Correct.
Okay, that's what
And
I'm,
that's 3 full stories of living area, correct?
right,
I mean, that's what it would work out to.
right, so you could add on to your house now.
My question
In my
is,
next lifetime.
why? Why are you changing a rule that's been in there since its existence, since Harahan formed their regulatory department back in the 70s when we wanted our own? Why would you want to raise the house to 45 feet from 35? I think the parish is 35 feet. Then you're going to have somebody, what's going on right now is people are tearing down homes in your neighborhood in Royland, and they're building new homes. So you're going to have a house being built that could possibly build 45 feet high. So that's cast another 10 foot of shade over the people next door. So you have somebody building a monstrosity of a house next to homes already built. Now, if your idea of doing this is because of Colonial Club Drive, a Colonial Club subdivision, then maybe you should say 45 feet in only Colonial Club subdivision. Then I would have no problem with that. But I have a problem with building 45-foot high houses in neighborhoods that are already in existence, such as Royland, which is the main place that they're tearing down these old homes and they're building these new homes. In my neighborhood, they had a few homes they tore down and built new homes, but they're not 45-foot high. So it's going to be ridiculous to have another 10-foot high house in already existing neighborhoods. So I am totally against it, but I don't know why you're doing this. What is the reason? You explain to me what is the reason.
So Councilman Johnson, I've told you this before, and I'm going to say it again.
Please do, because
Not doing something because it's the way Harahan has always done it is never going to fly
no, that's
with me.
not a reason. That's not a reason.
Okay,
Why you
can-
want to raise the
can-
house 10 feet?
can I
Don't come
ask-
up with that
I
because
didn't-
you want
I
to
didn't-
change what's
Excuse
not
me.
change. Wait a minute, wait, when I finish, you can
Councilman
talk.
John, I didn't
question.
interrupt you.
No, what is the reason? Don't give me that. What is the reason?
Well, I'm going to get to the reason, but the first thing you mentioned was, we've always done it in Harahan this way, and that's not an excuse to keep something the same for me. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm not doing it to change it, just to change it. But the fact of the matter is, we already allow for 45-foot homes in
That's
Harahan. We do.
That's
It's in the
bullshit.
code, yes, sir.
No, it
We
isn't.
allow 45-foot homes that directly abut the levee to be built in Harahan. That is
Well-
absolutely the current code.
That was spot zoning, though.
That's
No, it is in the code. It is in the,
It was,
along the levee.
but it was
that directly abut the levee. yes.
just those
levy.
limited
Correct.
lots. No, we did it all.
We did it all across the levee.
Along,
Okay.
your administration,
but
y'all
let me-
did it. Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you, I apologize.
I know, it's difficult.
I mean,
So the reason we're doing this is because homes are getting bigger. And we appreciate that. We want bigger homes in Harahan because it brings in more tax revenue. And it helps the city maintain its current bills and be able to build more tax revenue. This does not create additional living space in the city of Harahan. You can still build up to 35-foot of livable space. You can, if you want to look over the levee, you can build it up to 45-foot and put a balcony to look over the levee or to look over your neighbor's house, I guess, if you want to. But this just allows them to put the mechanicals. Right now, the 35-foot limit applies to mechanicals on the roof. So, I don't know, what do you call the things? A drainage plume or whatever it is, vent can't go above 35 feet. Well, this allows that to go above 35 feet up to 45 feet. That's all we're trying to do. I'm not trying to build a 45-foot house anytime soon. I'm happy at the house that I'm at. Nobody's asked me to do this. I'm just trying to make it more reasonable for people to build bigger homes in Harahan and bring in more revenue.
there's no need
That's
to.
it.
I can understand y'all did it when I wasn't here, when I was on the Jefferson Parish Council, y'all allowed them to build high homes because of the levee, along the levee, so they can look over the levee. And I do remember y'all doing that. But as far as in neighborhoods, it's ridiculous to have a 45-foot high. I hope if this passes, I hope somebody builds a house next to you 45-foot high. And I hope they build that sucker right on the
Well, if
right
it
on the
is-
boundary line where that sucker lays over your house and you don't get any sun.
If it is, it'd be my mother-in-law and I'd be okay with it.
So I also think in a new subdivision like Colonial,
That would be fun.
if you had that kind of limit, and there might be multiple houses, and we already, I believe, have larger lots there. But I think there are some houses in Harahan that probably top out at 15 feet. Probably a lot of them, maybe 18 feet. And 45 foot is a monstrosity next to that house. I think in an existing neighborhood, this is a bit much.
Why don't we, well, I'm just saying, in lieu of that, why don't you add some verbiage as to the minimum square footage of the lot? Because that would take out the smaller areas, right? You have to have so many square foot of lot to build the 45-foot tall home. And that would resolve the whole situation. Then you can't have somebody with a 18-foot tall house on a 50 by 100 with a, 45-foot roof line next door.
When I looked at this, I looked at safety and I looked at cost of insurance and making sure it didn't affect city's insurance, everybody else's insurance costs and the city's.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying
And
to appease them.
And I talked to the regulatory director about this ordinance, and he said that he didn't see a problem with the safety aspect of it, of setbacks and whatnot, to build it to 45 feet and the setbacks would still be fine. Because at the end of the day, we allow commercial to be built next to residential and it could be pretty high itself, with perhaps smaller setbacks in some areas on commercial.
Well, I'm just
So,
as a resident.
but I'm happy to listen to amendments that people want to propose. It's, at the end of the day, it's still going to go to planning and zoning. They might have amendments that they want to propose to it. I'm happy to listen to amendments. This is not set. That's why we're having a discussion. So if
Well,
you have an amendment, let's
I
work
think-
it out over the next
I think I'd like to see
17,
that.
18 days. And,
yeah. I'd like to see that.
but
put
I
in.
have no idea what that minimum square footage would be,
Well, I mean,
to be honest with you.
we'll have to talk about that, but within reason. I mean, you don't want somebody building a 40-foot building on a 50 by 100, obviously. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of things we could
So-
do to amend this. That's a great idea. you could put it to where if you're going to build it, your lot's got to be so many square feet, and you have to have, instead of the 5 foot or 7.5 foot offset setback on the side of the house, you can move it to a 10 to 12 foot offset on the side of the house. I mean, there's plenty of things we could do to amend it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why
I
let's let it go to planning and zoning, and we'll revisit next month, and
All
if
I'm
we gotta
saying-
make amendments and defer it another month, that's what we can do.
You do intend to defer tonight since planning and
I
zoning?
do
has-
intend to defer. However, if we are talking about amendments, I'd like to present an amended thing to planning and zoning, so we're not back and forth with planning and zoning. I wouldn't want them to say we approve or disapprove of this, and then we add an amendment after that, and have to go back to them. Does that make sense?
Sure.
It does.
So in the next couple of days, if we have some proposed amendments that you'd like me, because I'm going to be at the planning and zoning meeting, I'm going to present the ordinance. If you'd like me to present some proposed amendments that we're thinking about, I can do that and see what their pleasure is as far as,
I would say limit the Colonial Country Club Estates,
I understand you would say.
because you're going to have 100 lots, you're going to
I
be
will
building
write that
100
down.
homes
I
back
think
there.
that-
So,
That was my first.
I understand where you're coming from, that, Mr. Paul, but, I mean, you have plenty of large lots other places, though. I mean, that's why, I mean, what Councilman Ricks had with the square footage would be much nicer. I mean, if someone tore down the house next to me, I mean, it's a 75 by 250 foot lot. I mean, if they wanted to build a big, nice house there, I mean, that wouldn't offend me at all.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't at all.
I'm just saying, but I'm not in
45 foot
Colonial.
high?
I'm not in Colonial Estates, but I think limiting it to the Colonial Estates is,
They built some
little
nice
pushy.
houses on Colonial Club Drive. They tore some houses down, built some nice, they're only 35 foot high, and they're the same size lot you on.
yeah,
And they
but
got some
I'm just
beautiful
saying, I mean,
homes.
if we could just base it on the square footage of the lots or something like that,
Well,
and
you
some
got to have at least
setbacks,
a 100-foot wide lot to build a
Instead of-
45-foot high house.
instead of just limited to Colonial Estates. I'm just trying to
back-
leave it open for other
Go back in
options.
Roy Land. Roy Land, you live back there. They built a lot of beautiful homes back there. Their lots are 60 foot wide. They got a few of them 100 foot wide, but most of them are 60, 50 foot. They got a few.
I think
They
people
got
are,
a few big.
Mine's 90 by 150.
You got a big lot. I know you
big
do.
lot.
I know your mother-in-law's next door to you. I know your mother-in-law. I know your father-in-law. They lived in a house before you moved in. And I know your who. I know
Okay.
about y'all.
Look,
But I know you have
can-
some houses back there that are on small lots.
can we just agree that we're going to do this by the square footage and move on if we're going to defer?
Yeah.
Well, I think,
need to come up
I
with a square
think
footage.
Councilman Chatelain added setbacks.
20,000
also.
square feet.
So, I think lot size and setbacks would allay my concerns, but I still, again, we have houses in Harahan that are probably 12 feet above the walkway. They're sitting real close to the ground. There's very little pitch to the roof. They're 8-foot ceilings. They may not be 15 feet
Right.
above the sidewalk. You build this house, you're gonna potentially raise it a foot or two off the ground, and you're gonna go up 45 feet after that. I don't have anything against nice, big, beautiful homes, but I think that would dwarf some of the houses in our neighborhood.
Well,
And while I agree that we want to encourage development in Harahan, it's good for the city, no doubt about that. We have to be cognizant of the fact that there are a lot of small homes in Harahan, and this is 45 foot would dwarf them.
Well,
So,
what you want to do?
I want to make one comment. Look, I agree with Councilman Asbill. I am glad that he had the courage to step up and understand that this city is in a renaissance of change. We worked hard. I've worked hard to get us here. To get a different mindset, to understand that what we did today is not probably what we're going to do tomorrow. And most time we ain't going to do what we did because I have no idea what I'm doing. We just going at it really hard some days. But every day we're doing it. We want to make the city better. We want to make the city grow. The houses that are coming here, we're not growing water. We're not annexing. Airspace is free and brings tax dollars. I don't think 45 was unreasonable. I just think that I really appreciate you bringing that, and let's start looking to what the future, what this city can be, and it's already happening now. So it's just things that I think we should really look at to take advantage of and to move forward. And
I'm glad you don't have a vote, Mayor.
yes, me
Because you
too.
and I disagree.
Well,
So
listen,
glad you don't have a vote.
Jason, so
You gotta-
let's talk about a reasonable footage,
Okay.
right?
The current required square foot in R1A is 6,000 square feet.
Okay. R1A is 6,000 square feet, so that's a 60 by 100. We don't
Yeah.
want a 40-foot roof on a 60 by 100. Would you agree?
I would disagree, but I understand you don't want it, and that's fine.
Wait,
Well, I mean, I don't want to leave,
it's 5,000.
well, I'm saying,
Because look, I'm
lot,
that
5,000
15,
square feet.
20-foot house, and I wouldn't mind them building a 45-foot, $3 million home.
You can
next
have
to it,
50,
raising my
you can have a
property value
lot.
by $30,000 just sitting there. I'm okay with that.
30.
But you have a lot 50 by 100, you can build a house on. If you have a lot, a record 30 by 100, you can build a house on. Right.
can we get an analysis of how many lots are 50 by 100, 50 by 150, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. Is that something that exists in all of our tax logs or anything of that nature?
Say that again?
Is there a plan that says, like, hey, we have 150 by 150 lots, we got 175
I doubt
by,
it, but we can look at the map on the hallway and count them up, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to defer. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain to defer. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
Wait, but.
5
but I-
yeas, 0
but I
nays,
wasn't
we are
finished
deferred.
Discussion. I'd like to throw
Okay.
some thoughts out here because to allow Councilman Asbill to potentially go forward with his plan, which is to make amendments and allow planning and zoning to consider those, at least see them in writing, we ought to be throwing out some criteria that we might be able to agree on. Otherwise, you're not going to know until it comes back in front of us.
And it's Wednesday night, right? So the meeting is Wednesday.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would, my first preference would be to restrict it to colonial estates at these heights. But to go forward and with the understanding, and Chris, I'm going to ask you to be thinking about this and comment in a few minutes. This is a maximum height above what grade? Is that clear? Because I don't know that that's clear. It may be clear as can be. But if we're talking 45 feet, I'd like to know above what?
Yeah, there's some current code about whatever the grade is.
FEMA benchmark, right?
Well, let him think about that for a minute,
Would
because
it just
that's
be floodplain?
important too.
Base flood?
The answer to that is quite ambiguous, because in multiple jurisdictions, we never count the flood requirement, because sometimes you have a flood requirement this high off the ground, and sometimes it's 18 inches. When there is no flood elevation requirement, which most of Harahan is, it's 18 inches above the center line of the street or the top of curb. So,
Of the curb.
or the center line of the street, whichever one is available.
Yeah. Okay.
And the surveyors have long been using that one. If there's no curb, you use the center line of the street adjacent to the property.
So you would only, current practice, correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm interpreting this correctly, you would only say you can be more than whatever that limit is, the current limit is 35 feet, above the curb or the crown of the street, whichever is higher, if somebody is required to elevate for flood zones?
If you have nothing, you're staring at a vacant piece of property with, nothing on it.
Right.
Okay, the minimum requirement, and it's in an X-flood zone, or rather a non-flood zone, then our requirement is 18 inches above the center line of the street, adjacent to or in front
So
of
we would be,
the property.
we would be saying that this house is going to be a maximum of 18 inches above the center line of the street.
The requirement would be a maximum of,
That's how it would be interpreted.
correct. The requirement would be 18 inches. You could add fill to your property or retaining walls and whatever else, or your property may already be higher than that already. But if you're looking at a level piece of ground with nothing more than a street in front of it, that's what you would go by initially when you're planning your property, your improvements.
So there's a little vagueness into how this is going to be interpreted in the future.
It's quite vague.
Subject to variables.
Correct.
Would you like to add it in there as far as center line of the street and/or flood elevation, whichever is lower?
Well, no, I would like to do it from the center line of the street. or
No
the
matter
curb.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, there's another, you could put it to where we basically put it as it's got to be a 75-foot lot with 10-foot setbacks on each side.
I'm good with the 10-foot setbacks. I mean, I think that's getting to be.
I mean, I'll give a description. I mean, you got property in River Ridge that's 100 feet wide in certain neighborhoods. If you build a house, you got to be 10 feet off the property line. If your lot's 99 feet wide, you could be 5 feet off the property line.
Yep. Yep. And you drive down Citrus Boulevard, you see what these houses look like. They're huge. They're 3 stories with a peak. And, I mean, that would really be out of place, I think, in most neighborhoods in Harahan.
So before I would want to limit it to colonial estates only, I'd rather base it to a 75-foot lot frontage with 10-foot setbacks. I mean, you might end up with some lots that in colonial estates that's less than 75 feet.
Right.
It's not supposed to be unless y'all change the rules.
Well, no,
We didn't, I'm just saying,
the
but they
rules
could come
haven't been
propose
changed,
anything.
but
We
a
don't know what's
future
going to happen
council-
next.
Or this council
Well,
could
if
change.
future council changes the rules from 75 feet, then that's going to degrade, I mean, the price of his house is going to go down, the price of all those $1 million homes they built at Colonial.
Every house in Harahan's going to go down.
If y'all reduce the size of the lots in Colonial Club when they do that subdivision, you're going to depreciate all those houses over there.
75 by
All of
what? 70?
So,
75 by whatever.
so 75 by what?
What's the
Or-
minimum?
120 right now.
So what is that?
Wait, what?
What's the minimum?
That's,
75 by what?
that's 10,000 square feet? That's 10,000, 75 by 120 is 10.
I'm not saying you got to, oh, you're
Yeah.
saying more than 120, or more, like you can't have less than 120?
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, I'd be willing to consider 10-foot setbacks, minimum. And a minimum lot size frontage and a minimum lot size in total. I'd be willing to consider that. I still think it can be somewhat detrimental. I know it has positives. So as everything in life, it's you weigh the good with the less good. So could we go? Well, I know we could. 10-foot setbacks, 100,000 square foot minimum lot.
I'm just saying, before you say another thing, that, if you have a 75-foot lot, now you have a 55-foot house frontage, which isn't a whole lot. Especially if you're building something tall. I'm just saying, I think you're adding a whole lot of problem, because now you're taking something that should be wider, as long as it's taller, and I think you're going to encourage this mini little version of what looks like a skyscraper on these properties. I would not be for that at all.
What are you thinking would work, Mike?
I mean, I think when you take, these people are buying wide lots to build wide houses. I mean, look what's happening. They're not buying wide lots to put a 55-foot frontage on. They want something that looks immense.
I disagree with you. I mean, I believe some people are buying wide lots to get rear yard access and everything else.
I disagree with you,
I
because I
disagree.
see what's going on at Colonial Club Drive. Every one of them houses is almost fence to fence. So I would tell you that these people are looking for wider lots to build wider frontage. I mean, it's what it is.
But why would we want to limit them on what they're going to be able to build? I mean,
I would set
we're
back,
asking
look,
to go from
if you
50, I
got a
mean, we're trying to put a
75-foot
limit
lot, all I'm saying
with
is,
higher offsets.
if you have a 75-foot wide lot, stick with the 5 foots, let them go 65 feet. If you want to go 100 foot.
I'm saying you only put the 10-foot setback if they want to go that high up.
65 feet? We're going to 65.
45 feet.
But I'm
The
saying
only reason they would have to have a
5 and 5.
10-foot setback on each side is if they want to go higher than 35 feet to the 45
So
feet.
you're going to have a bunch of skyscraper-looking houses.
If they want to go
around.
35 feet, they could keep
I'm
a
talking about
5-foot setback.
aesthetics. I'm looking at aesthetics. I'm not looking at stupidity. I'm looking at aesthetics. If the thing is 55 feet, 40 feet high, it's going to look like a mini skyscraper town.
I disagree. I mean, people have different
Well,
opinions on what they want to
I was an
build.
architect before I got in the sign business. I'm telling you, that's what you're going to have. It's going to be ridiculous looking.
You got to vote.
So Mike, along those lines, what do you think if
mean, Colonia,
if we
they got
were to
three
vote
setbacks.
for the 45 feet,
One side,
or
5 feet.
if you were to vote for it tonight, what's width lot would you want it to be a minimum of?
100.
I think Paul's right, 100.
Okay.
I mean, if you're building something 45 feet, I don't want people building 45 feet on a freaking 50 by 120, I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? So, like I said, you're incurring a lot of problems if you don't restrict the height versus the width. It's going to be atrocious.
So you'd rather have a 35-foot house, a 35-foot high house on a 50-foot lot with a 5-foot setback on each
First
side?
of all,
we got
first of
now.
all, that's what we have now.
That's right.
We're asking for high, so listen.
I'm saying let's
higher
widen
value-
it by 25 feet, move the setback if they want to go over 35 to 10 feet on each side, and let them go to 45.
I understand that, but what's the minimum lot you're gonna require?
75 feet. And if they want to go over the 35 feet, then you bump into a 10-foot setback on each side.
So if somebody comes in and designs a freaking 45-foot house on a 75-foot lot with 10-foot setbacks on each side, right? You get 55-foot wide and 45 feet tall.
It's up to them.
Be careful what you ask for. Just telling you.
So, okay, we
would think a
getting some
55-foot
potential
wide house is gonna be
consensus.
pretty big.
We're talking 10-foot setbacks, and I think it's getting some traction. And we're talking lot width, and right now there's discussion at 100, which I prefer, and 75. We also need to consider the total lot square footage, and we need to think about what we discussed earlier is that the measurement is from the higher of the curb or the crown of the street, center line of the street, whatever the proper term. I think I've heard Chris use crown.
Chris, that's FEMA rule, isn't it? 18 feet above the
That's base
crown?
flood elevation.
FEMA doesn't have a base elevation
Who has the
requirement
rule?
in an X zone.
Who you've got to follow the rule, 18 feet above the crown.
The 18 inches is our ordinance.
18 inches, I'm sorry.
It's our ordinance.
It's our rule.
Right, it's Jefferson Parish and
Jefferson Parish.
and
My point
other
is, I could
jurisdictions too.
I could go put fill in a new lot. As long as I put my chain walls to channel that water to the street, I could go up 2 feet,
Correct.
right?
That's correct.
Now I'm 2 feet above the crown, and I'm potentially 45 feet above that. So I'd like to, if we can, limit the 45, have it
that right?
real clear.
He wants to
Yeah,
limit
I
it
was
to the
gonna say,
crown of
didn't
the
we-
street.
we
Crown of the
86
street or
that,
the
right?
curb,
Yeah.
whichever's
Yeah,
higher. because
45 feet's the maximum from that baseline, which is the 18-inch.
The higher of the crown of the street or the curb, 45 feet above that. Okay, so we got that.
But you can't go add, what, I guess,
Right.
we're
If you
clear,
add 3 foot of
you
fill,
can't go
then you
add
can
3
only go
feet and then
42
go
feet.
45
42 feet, correct.
Right, you can't
And,
be,
and this counts the slab too, guys. 'cause
Yeah.
Every house has got a slab on it. So if your slab's
It's
8
from the crown of the
inches,
street.
your crown of the street, you're 45. So, but to avoid future uncertainties and fights over ambiguity, if we measure it from a point, there's no debating it at that point in time. There's no wiggle room on the word.
Add that amendment, I got
Yes,
that amendment ready.
yes.
look, well,
And we're having this discussion just so we can try to get this in front of planning and zoning, so we can get their opinion.
well,
And
I
we
understand.
still-
We can still adjust
But
later
all
at
I'm
that point.
saying, my point is that people are looking to build, especially in Colonial, they want these wider lots because they want wider homes. They like the appeal of the wider front.
If you're gonna limit it to 100-foot wide lots, you might as well just go ahead and limit it to Colonial Cliffs.
Well,
That's fine.
potentially, that's what we're trying to do.
No, I see.
Right, but I'm not happy with
I
doing that.
just saw a
right?
lot.
Well,
right
guess
off
what?
of-
Hey,
well,
listen,
no.
look, you don't have to be happy. Everybody
fine.
else in town has to.
As long as
be
we're
happy.
happy with it.
We're not worried about Jason Asbill, we're worried about the rest of the people.
But what if someone, I'm just being open-minded, what if someone wants to build something and they have a 100-foot lot somewhere else then? If you go to 100-foot lots?
Well,
They can't build unless they live in Chateau Estates.
They can build a 35-foot house all day long.
Wow.
I wouldn't have a problem
those
with,
are Kennebec.
My neighbor wouldn't have to worry about it.
I wouldn't have a
90% of my
problem with a
neighbor's
100-foot
60-foot
wide lot.
lots.
Now, I've seen in the last year, there's one house off of Riverside, a lot that was 100-foot wide. It was subdivided. They just built one house, and they're getting ready to build another. So they're 100-foot wide lots, and most people are re-subdividing them and coming up with 250s. From a developer perspective, I'm sure they figured that'll make them more money. But they're, the smaller than that is problematic. If you have a 10-foot setback, which would help in this regard, and you don't have a lot of wiggle room to build a 45-story house. I agree.
45 stories, 45 foot.
45 foot.
Councilman Riggs,
Thank you.
is
Yes,
your-
sir.
Is your concern, well, if we move that setback from 10 to 7 feet on a 75-foot lot. So now you've got a 61-foot wide building possibility.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it being a 5-foot setback. Why fool with the side setback?
Oh, the only reason I said the side setback is Mr. Paul was talking about how it's gonna tower right next to another house.
Well, listen.
You know, that's the reason I
most
just
of these-
brought up the setbacks.
Most of these people on these lots, if you look around and pay attention, most of these people are looking for some kind of rear yard access as well.
Agreed.
So, whether they have a pass-through patio, garage, carport, something like that, they do have some kind of setback on a lot of them. But what I'm saying is, look, I got a 100-foot lot, right? My house is 90 feet wide, pretty much. And I got a big carport on one side, it's 20 foot. I'm 20 foot away from my neighbor's house.
You're 50 feet in the air.
No, yeah. But anyway, I'm saying that,
30.
that, you know, no matter what, that's what these people are looking for. They're looking for that wide, grand, you know, appearance. That's why all these people are buying these 100-foot lots, and some of them are, like you said, some of them buying 100-foot lots and cutting them in half with 250s, but then you're starting to look like old Metairie.
But the problem with them is, then they need to go high because they're trying to get more square footage.
Look, I totally
that's the
understand.
developer's concern.
But what I'm saying is, I think from the standpoint, if we're gonna do this, and we're gonna say a 75-foot lot's a minimum lot size, 5 foot and 5 foot, I mean, all you're doing is complicating things by moving that side setback.
I don't have a problem not moving it. I was just trying to appease other council members.
What is the rule right now for a 75-foot lot setback?
5 foot,
Chris?
5 foot.
It's 5 foot? 5 foot? I thought it was more than that.
That's not.
Colonial's 10.
No, I think it's 5.
Colonial is more, but if you just happen to have a random 75-foot lot, it's still
It's
5.
5 and 5? I thought it was 7.5.
Got a 70-foot
In
and 5.
in Colonial, there are some of the lots that have,
But
a-
in our-
but that's
in-
that's restricted to just
Okay, in the
the,
rest of the neighborhood, it's 5 feet.
correct.
I thought it was 7, okay.
All right, Councilman, you good? We
I got a small lot, and I got a 7.5 foot
Just
side.
for
You got enough to rewrite this
consideration.
thing?
Right, you got enough to sit at the planning and zoning?
Just for consideration, I can get comfortable.
You gotta hope enough people show up at
I
planning.
can get comfortable with
You're right.
80-foot wide lots.
But there's not,
Not to 10,000 square feet.
I don't think you want to.
I don't even know what mine is.
I just want to know,
And then
there's a reason you want to do this.
and then,
Not just picking this out your head. There's a reason you want to do this. There's something in that mind of yours you
It's
want to do.
nefarious. It's nefarious
There's a
for
reason
sure.
why you want to do this.
look, so
You got something up your sleeve.
do we have what we need to move on?
You can
Yeah,
bet
I
that.
don't want to be at
On
midnight.
that side of the fence, on this
Okay,
side, this.
I'm sure nobody else
there's-
wants to
there's
be at
something going
midnight
on.
either? Okay, thank you.
All right, so we have a
I'm trying
motion
to
to
build a
defer.
man.
well, now you
know
need to vote, you need to
I
move
see
to
that you're
defer.
serious, and that is absolutely ridiculous that you would say something like that.
Well, I did.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. It's
All right.
ridiculous though.
I
got a
don't trust you
a
as far as I
second
can
to
throw
defer.
you.
So,
All right,
motion,
I can't
motion
throw
to
you
defer.
far.
Come on,
All right,
Councilman,
come on.
that's enough.
That's enough.
Motion to defer.
This is a professional thing. So, look, do
Jason, a
you have
motion to
enough?
defer.
I made the motion first.
Do you have enough?
And we had a
to-
second by Councilman Chatelain.
We already
Okay, thank you.
voted.
All right, all in favor to defer?
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
yes.
Ah, yeah, okay, good, let's move on. Come on, Madam Clerk.
Do it
Ordinance,
again after the planning and zoning.
Yeah.
ordinance for introduction. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Asbill, proposed ordinance number 2026-7.
It's nefarious. So
An
y'all pay
ordinance
attention.
amending Chapter 19, Chapter 50, and Chapter 58 of the Harahan Code of Ordinances to declare a nuisance for certain parking, vehicle obstruction, right-of-way, and nuisance violations, to authorize designated code enforcement officials to issue notices of violations, to provide for regulatory court jurisdiction over violations, to provide for abatement, towing, removal, storage, disposition, and cost recovery, and to provide for other related matters. The following ordinance was proposed by Councilman Chatelain, proposed ordinance number 2026-8, an ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the Harahan Code of Ordinances to require a centralized financial transparency page on the city's official website. There is no old business, new business number 1, monthly financials. He should be on there.
That was the other.
Walter, you on? Walter?
Yes, I apologize, I was double muted. Good afternoon, or actually, good evening, everybody. How are we doing?
Well,
Good.
thank you, Walter.
Awesome. So first of all, I'd like to just start off the meeting saying that we are performing exceptionally well from a budget standpoint. Special thank you and recognition to Councilman Buddy. We've had several conversations over the past couple weeks, a lot of feedback on how the data should be presented. So I've taken some of that feedback and have incorporated it into this month's spreadsheet. At the outset, two things I really want to bring to the councilman's attention. The first is our revenues are slightly ahead of schedule. This is largely attributed to the occupational license revenue. I brought this to our attention last month as well, but we continue to push past what we initially budgeted. I think this is the incorporation of a new software platform, which actually reduces the administrative burden on the staff while simultaneously bringing in additional revenue, ensuring that our contractors within the city are paying their occupational licenses. It's easier for them, it's better for us, and overall general win. We're actually ahead over 160% compared to this point last year. So a huge shout out to the regulatory committee for getting that online. The other thing I'd like to draw to the councilman's attention is if you're looking at the spreadsheet, all other funds expenditures, there is $276,000 in expenditures in the capital outlay fund for highways. This was not budgeted. We are not anticipating on backfilling this expenditure with grant revenue from the state. I talked to the staff, I talked to the mayor, and I'll let him touch a little bit more on it, but these were streets that were in dire need of repairs, and under his authority decided to proceed forward with making those repairs. So I'll touch base with the mayor to see if there's any other streets that we're anticipating. I do know that there's conversations about getting additional capital outlay from the state for repairing other streets within the city, but this is something that's drawn to my attention, $276,000. But according to the mayor, it was very much needed. And we continue to monitor our budgets appropriately and accordingly. Now, next month we'll be presenting
Walter, can I interrupt you for
point.
Walter? Can I interrupt you for a second?
Absolutely, sir.
The $256,000 on streets out of the capital fund. You said that is not anticipated to be backfilled, or that will be backfilled with capital outlay funds?
From the conversations that I had, and I'll let the mayor interject if I'm misspeaking, but the conversations I've had with some of the staff is we are not anticipating that those funds are to be backfilled with grant revenue. We are anticipating getting grant revenue for other street repairs in the city.
So was it, Walter, this is Tommy, was it charged to the capital fund, or is it currently sitting in a general fund line item?
Right now, it's in the capital fund.
Well,
Okay.
but how did it come out of the capital fund without a council approval?
Well, that's an account. Yeah, that would be the accounting question, right?
Well, yeah, but Walter is our
Who's the accounting
financial
person? Who do we?
advisor.
It should have come out of something besides capital. The mayor can't spend capital funds without council.
Well, we've done it in the past. Yeah.
Well, we should, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We should.
Yeah.
What we've done in the past in that regard, we should not repeat in the future.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Should.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Walter.
thank you. Absolutely, sir. And so,
So, Mayor, wait,
again,
wait.
we're
While we're on
anticipating-
that topic, let's let the mayor comment, please. You suggested he would comment on that topic.
Mr. Tom, you remember when you referred to the ordinance as emergency road repair? Well, we didn't declare an emergency, but the roads that we had to repair, they were a part of what we had the grant money for. They were in dire need when we had to do them. I mean, we were ripping tires out of people's cars. We were paying for tires and rims on cars and stuff like that. And, so
What
we
roads?
decided to go ahead and move through it and get them done.
What roads? What roads?
It was Elfer, Resort. Resort was atrocious. You couldn't barely even drive down it anymore.
I drive down it every day. I know.
Parts of Randolph.
Yep, and parts of Randolph in front of right by the playground.
But Mayor, couldn't that have been discussed at council meetings? I mean, I appreciate that you face emergency situations regularly. I can't fully appreciate it because I don't walk in your shoes.
Right.
But when are we going to find out about spending $256,000 of unbudgeted money?
Right. We've been talking about it for a while, and so we're trying to get funds reallocated for other streets. Roads are there, and we had, those citizens were anticipating those streets getting fixed before we started moving money around. think this government has a due diligence to make the city, make the citizens happy. It's not our money, it's their money. And those streets need to be repaired.
Yeah, I do not anticipate on fixing that through a budget amendment at the end of the year like we have done in the past. I would not be in favor of that.
Yeah, I've got heartburn over that, and I've made that kind of clear in the last couple of years. But Mayor, we live in a finite world. I'm stating the obvious. If you got to spend money because it's an emergency and you got a budget, you figure out what you're going to cut and you cut it. And you balance your budget. That's a hard decision. Absolutely a hard decision. Because cuts hurt. But that would be appropriate.
Right?
And we've had these conversations multiple times over the
So
years.
when we started the conversation, those streets were slated to be done. Those citizens were expecting those streets to be done. And then we pivoted here, the council pivoted here and said that they would like me to go back to FP&C, not go to white concrete, and let's distribute that money more evenly throughout the city, getting more streets done. I had to answer to those citizens. They were anticipating their streets done, and so we went and did it.
So,
So let me ask you this. So when we had the money for the concrete street, we went back to the state and said, hey, we want to do asphalt streets instead.
We're in the process of that now.
Okay. So my question is, we went and made this change. Then we come back with the change. We have the money from the state now, but
We're still in the changing process. We're still waiting to get their approval.
Will they
But
approve it
thi-
because we've already spent
this
the
will
money?
this will not be reimbursed from the state. This 256 will not be reimbursed from the
Because
state
the money's already spent?
because it's already spent.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't ask forgiveness.
So it's
on
reallocating the
these
money to
grants.
different streets.
Right.
I don't know yet. We're still working on that.
Well, okay, I mean.
I'm not gonna go no with that yet.
I'm not gonna belabor this. You've heard what I have to say.
What's unfortunate, however, is that next month in July, we should be getting an analysis of all the outstanding FP&C projects and the matches and whatnot. And so those that have not been approved yet may have to not be approved so that we can cover the cost of some streets that the mayor thought was an emergency. So whereas we might have state funding, capital outlay funding that's pending, maybe we don't get those funds because we don't have the match for it
I
anymore.
agree with you. I mean, that's a concern.
And all I'm saying is we need to have conversations when this changes direction as a council.
Well, you guys changed the direction. I didn't.
I know, but we.
Yeah, but you spent the money.
Before another decision's made on spending, we need to be informed, even if we change direction. We need to know what's going on. So,
Let me
whether we made a
understand
promise
this.
or not.
Let me understand this. You spent $256,000 out of capital on repairing streets without council approval. Why didn't you come to the council and let us do an ordinance for you where we would be involved with this? You did this before, Mayor. You did this with the park in the back. When I wrote an ordinance, bailed you out of $50,000 when you used $50,000 out of capital. And I mean, you and I had a meeting 2 years ago, and I said, well, I'll do the $50,000 ordinance for you because you did it then. And I told you, Mayor, you can't do this unless you get an ordinance. I told you 2 years ago. You continue doing this, though. You continue using money without going through the right procedure. You just grab the money because you're the mayor. And I told you, you're not the king, you're the mayor. So you continue grabbing money just because you're the mayor. You don't do that. You got to go to, this council controls your purse strings. You don't have control of the money. This council controls the money. So therefore, you don't have the right to take that $256,000 unless you come to the council, come to one of these councilmen, Eric, Jason, Mike, him and me, and say, look, guys, I need to get these streets done. I need to get $256,000 out of the capital money. Would you do an ordinance for me so I can do it? They would have definitely done it. But no, you want to just take the money without anybody, and nobody knew about it until we find out tonight. But continuously you do this, Mayor, you continuously do
I
it.
completely disagree with that. This is not
Okay,
the first time
but
we've
yeah,
had
you're going
this
to continuously
conversation.
disagree
We've
with
had
it.
this conversation several times, and believe it or not, we ended up here at your discretion. I went to the state to get money for concrete. You chose to go see
Right,
Big John
that's
Hill,
right.
the state representative behind
Right.
my back.
No, I didn't. I didn't do it behind your back.
Reallocated.
I didn't do it behind your back.
And so everything got reallocated, but I had already promised these citizens they were going to have streets.
Concrete.
Yeah.
$1 million to do one street.
But then I agreed with you. I agree with you
Exactly,
and say,
and I
okay.
appreciate you agreeing with me.
Let's go, but at that point, Councilman, I had already let these residents know.
But you could have done it the right way, man. You could have come and got an ordinance
I
for
did
it.
not realize that we were not all on the same page with this.
I'm not gonna argue with you, man.
Me neither.
Okay, next.
All right.
Walter?
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
I'd also like to say, currently, this is, Walter, am I right in that this could just be a coding issue? Is that right? I mean, we could code this, we could have the accountants code this to the general fund of the highways and streets, and that way, it's just an overrun on the general fund that the mayor controls rather than the capital fund that the council controls.
Correct. I mean,
That's correct.
That's the way you have
now
Okay.
that creates another problem, but.
But I think we need to show it appropriately that it's a mayor overrun and not a council overrun.
Yeah. Still not happy at all with the $250,000 general fund overrun.
That's the way this would have to be done, is through his general fund.
Okay, I'm ready to move on.
All right, well done, let's rock.
The good news, the second part of this conversation is that we're actually performing extremely well from our sales tax revenue and some other general sales tax revenues as well, to include fire. Comparing this month to as year-to-date May versus in 2025 May, the fire sales tax revenue is actually up 28.7%, which is pretty phenomenal. And then our general sales tax revenue is up 9.4% as well. So I think that there's good news in this situation as well, in being able to show additional increases in revenue in addition to the occupational license as we've previously mentioned. So
Do you
I think
think-
there's a general good news story.
Do you think at the end of the year, we're going to have $256,000 in overage and sales tax revenues? Undedicated
not
sales tax revenues?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not prepared to answer that question until I see June month come in, so I can actually look at a half-year snapshot to provide that projection.
Okay.
Walter, you could have just said yes.
So, but I am optimistic, Councilman Asbill, but I'm not prepared to fully make that statement just yet. But as of next month, we'll be presenting kind of the half-year snapshot with a projection towards the end of the year. And then also, as you mentioned, sir, being able to do an entire capital fund analysis of where we're at, of all of our state match commitments, and to kind of show that I've been working with Mr. Buddy on this pretty extensively over the past couple of weeks. And then as well as we'll start the in quarter three, we'll begin budgeting for next year and beginning our first long-range plan, which will cover the next 3 fiscal years. So that'll include capital spend down plans for our departments, as well as hiring decisions of personnel and other department needs. So a lot to look forward to, and I look forward to seeing you guys in person next month and discussing these further at length.
Thank you.
Thank you, Walter.
Madam Clerk, new business number 2?
New business number 2, 2026-2027 official journal appointment renewal, and I will confirm that it is the same price as last year.
I want to make a comment on this. The state legislature had a proposed bill up this session to change who you could name as your official journal, so that municipalities like us or Jefferson Parish weren't tied to the monopoly of The Advocate or NOAA.com or whatever it is. It didn't pass, but I would encourage them to reintroduce that every session until it passes, because they kind of have a monopoly on what we can do, and you would have been able to name the official journal as the city's website, which would be pretty beneficial to the city in cost savings, and also, like, people look at websites more than they do newspapers now. So
Nowadays,
Yeah.
for sure. Kerry, what are these price increases? These are the rates that we're proposing. What were they last year? The rates went up.
Same exact number.
No change? That's pleasant
that's
surprise.
because their readership went down.
Yeah, but
Their subscriptions went down. So
I agree with you.
technically, the price
but
should go down too.
The
but-
cost to the city is going to remain the same.
Right, we've got to support their.
Because it went up
electric
last year. We had increases last year, as I recall, in the basic rates. Well, that's good news.
leadership. Move to approve. Do we have to approve this? Is this a thing? Okay, move to-
Even though we don't have, okay, we got it. We have a motion by Councilman Asbill. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk.
New business number 3, appointment of special prosecutor for the Purple Martin case.
Before we do this, I'd like to go into special session, executive session, I'm sorry, to get an update on this matter and the other litigation. I think it should be pretty short, but
I think you can.
Okay.
if we,
You want to do that now or at the end?
we can do it at the end.
Okay.
We can do it.
No matter what, we have to change the attorney. Can we go ahead and handle that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is basically a substitution of counsel, same firm. The attorney who was appointed, Mr. Vanderhoof, took a new position within the firm, and so we're going to propose that we appoint Mr. Mike Futrell, who is one of the partners at, is it Shahardy Sherman? Oh, Connick & Connick, I'm sorry. So he's one of the partners over there, and he's going to be taking on the...
Connick & Connick firm?
Yes.
Same firm.
So I got a stupid question. Where is this at right now? I mean,
Well,
Well, we're going to do that in
that's the executive session.
yeah.
We'll talk about that plus any of these.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Move to approve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we need to approve,
Move to appoint.
appoint the attorney.
Okay.
Second.
All right, all in favor of Councilman Asbill, move to approve Mike Futrell with Connick & Connick. We have a second by Councilman Chatelain. We'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. We'll close public hearing. All in favor from Mike Futrell with Connick & Connick.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam
Move to
Clerk.
amend the agenda to add executive session.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Asbill to move to amend the agenda right before address to council after new business number 4. All in favor, we'll open for public hearing. No one coming forth. Second by Councilman Chatelain. All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays. Madam Clerk, agenda is amended. Madam Clerk, new business number 4.
New business number 4, high and low content ABO application for Real Pinta, doing business as Pacino's, located at 1801 Dickory Avenue for Marina Renda and Joseph LaRocco Jr.
You good?
Yeah, they've met all the requirements from the state and all the background checks. It's
Awesome,
approved.
thank you. All right, anyone want to speak on new business
I do
number
have a
4?
question.
And
Didn't they have a liquor license?
I'll close, they changed owners.
Yeah,
Oh, changed owners. Okay.
Yep. So we'll close public hearing now. Council discussion, if any.
No discussion.
All in favor?
Yay.
Yay.
5 yeas, 0 nays, Madam Clerk. Yeah, I want to go to...
Well, you just amended the agenda, so executive session.
Yep. Tim, give me my gavel. Okay, we're going to take a, 10-minute recess in executive session?
Yeah, turn it on.
Okay, 8:18, we're going to call the meeting back to order.
There's, in the executive this session, we discussed the Purple Martin case. There's no actions that were taken.
Okay, Madam Clerk.
Address the council.
Okay, anyone who'd like to address the council, please come to the podium, state your name and address, driver's license number, social security, and a bank account.
And passwords.
I'm Dr. Foster Wade, 146 Colonial Club Drive. I'd like to correct the record for this meeting for previous statements that were made during this thing. I'm on the Board of Adjustments. I've been on the Board of Adjustments for over 2 years now, and off the top of my head, I can remember 5 cases that came before this board. We have always had enough advance notice where we had the time to review all of the paperwork. And for me, I go out to every property to personally go look at it before we have our meeting. And just for purposes to address that, I pulled up my email that Carrie sent out on Friday, May the 15th, for the May 20th meeting that had everybody's name and email addresses on there, including Ms. LaGreco's. So we had 5 days beforehand. It varies depending on when the case comes to the city. We've had as much as 2 weeks, but sometimes it's a little bit less, but there's always enough time for us to do our work before each meeting. So I just wanted to correct what was stated because it was inaccurate.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your
very
service
much.
on the board.
Thank you, but just because they were sent out doesn't mean I got it, and I'd like to know that, what email it's going to. But the last meeting, I did not get an email on that. I know for a fact because I was called specifically, and it was the day of the meeting. And I would have been happy to attend, but I was at another meeting in the city of New Orleans. And I don't have 5. I know that I was sent, and you can go back and look at all of them, but I do not believe that I was. And actually, the week before Memorial Day weekend, I had no email that particular week because I had gotten hacked in the airport. I did not receive one. It doesn't mean that she didn't try and send me one, but I did not receive one. And I would have been there because everyone that I got an email for, I attended. And I don't want to get into, tit for tat, but if I didn't receive it, I didn't receive it.
Just a nasty.
Thank you.
It's a nasty man.
All right.
Again, Foster Wade, 146 Colonial Club Drive. Irregardless of that, we all know that there is a meeting scheduled for every third Wednesday of the month. It's scheduled, not all the time. There is a meeting that shows up. So I have a placeholder in my calendar for every third Wednesday of the month that I know that I may have a meeting on that date. So I start looking at my emails. If I don't have anything, I typically stop by or call the city to verify. So not knowing and not receiving, to me, is not an excuse. You have a duty and a responsibility to follow up if you're going to be a part of this thing. After that meeting, where there was no shows, I wrote my letter of resignation to get off that thing because people are not being respectful of the process, and I'm not going to waste my time if others are not doing it. I got talked out of giving that for now, but if y'all don't do something about this and get people on this board that are going to do their job, then I will resign.
We appreciate that, Mr. Foster. Thank you.
And as Councilman Aswell stated earlier, this was a case about a handicap or a special needs girl who actually just needed access that would actually change would change what they do under, the current code. Appeals board is about, will we allow you to do something that's not code in order for a hardship? And that's why these meetings are held. These people come before us because they have a certain hardship, and it's the planning and zone, the appeals board's job to decide whether it is a hardship or not. Well, this one was kind of really important, and people didn't show up for it, and it was we didn't look good. So, but thank you for showing
What is
up.
And this one sounds like
what is the quorum? What is the amount of people?
it's 50%, I would say.
Three.
Three?
They needed one more person to show up.
One more.
So I
I did get a call, and I volunteered to drive back, and not enough people had showed up.
So, let me just say that, I don't know if, can any one of us volunteer to fill that position, or no?
No, because it's an autonomous board. I would agree with that, right, Mr. Paul? It's an
Yeah.
autonomous board, so you cannot. Because everything they rule on goes goes to 24 JDC,
Right.
not us. We can't overrule it like planning and zoning.
Right.
No.
I was going to offer my services, but,
Thank you, Councilman Ricks. You're a Boy Scout.
You can resign from
You'd have to resign from the council.
okay. If I don't have to talk to you clowns, I'm going to do it.
Is that a hard decision?
Might be a-
All right, no one else coming
That
forward?
was the wrong
We'll now
decision.
close.
You're not the first person to call.
All right, we'll now close address to council. Madam Clerk?
Secretary's report for May 2026, total revenues, $612,954. Reports?
Chief LaPree?
Good evening. Real quick, before I get to the stats, I want to take a moment and thank the citizens of Harahan for going out, voting, and showing the confidence and trust in the Harahan Police Department to renew this millage. That was a crucial item for the police department, and I can't thank the public enough. This millage will still be in effect even when I'm gone, so the next chief that comes in won't have to deal with this right away. So I really want to thank the public for going out, showing the trust in the department. 66% voted yes. That's pretty strong. And I want to thank everybody for going out and trusting in the Harahan Police Department. So with that said, I really appreciate it. I do want to thank Senator Talbert and Big John Ilg again, and from the state. They were very helpful in being able to provide funding that we don't have in the department budget to be able to purchase new computers for all our police cars. We were able to obtain a generator for the EOC building next door. We were able to upgrade our weapons. Our weapons were almost 10, 15 years old. Our computers wouldn't even take any new updates. They were so outdated. And we were able to purchase several new crime cameras that will be put up around the city to help give us more eyes throughout the city. These are not speed cameras, they're crime cameras to assist us of when things happen in the city, we can go back and try to figure out who was at fault or who was committing the crime in our city. Real quick, it is still summertime. Kids are still out on the street. We're getting a lot of calls and complaints on these little scooters and bikes and all. I've talked to the legislatures, Big and Kurt, to try to get some legislation to put some teeth into these vehicles being on the street. We've got kids going down the street 30, 40 miles an hour on these bikes, and somebody's going to get hurt. So I know there was an accident in Kenner. Person was killed on one a few weeks ago. But parents, please be responsible with your children on these things. They're running stop signs, and by the time we get out there, they're gone. The person that called don't want to be the complainant. They don't want to get their neighbor mad at them. So have a conversation with your children and make sure they're being responsible. Real quick on the stats, we handled 730 calls for service. Last month, we had 7 traffic accidents, 90 citations were written. We had 10 patrol requests on houses, and those houses over that time period that the folks were out were checked 293 times. If you are going out of town on vacation, call the Harahan Police Department, let us know. We'll put a patrol request on your house and keep an eye on it while you're out of town enjoying your vacation, and we'll keep an eye on your property. We had 1,279 business checks throughout the month, where the officers stop in, check on the business, check it at night. Traffic enforcement, we did 312. We had 70 medical calls throughout the city. We had 34 burglar alarms, home alarms, and business alarms that went off, and we had 1 stolen vehicle. We had a total of 51 arrests. We had 13 felony, 33 misdemeanor, and 27 city charges that were handled. We had 36 fugitive, and this one drives me crazy. I've got to get this jail back open. We had 36 people that aren't showing up at our court dates, on their court dates for our city court for traffic violations and other misdemeanor charges. We're issuing them new court dates, and they're not showing up in court. So I want to get the jail back open so that you can spend a few nights in the Harahan Hilton here. And if you want to get out, you got to pay your tickets. We had 1 DWI arrest. We had 8 traffic arrests. We had 7 narcotic arrests, and we had 21 others. So property crimes, in all, we had 8 assaults, 1 resident burglary, 5 thefts, and 2 identity thefts. For these identity thefts, if you get these calls and it sounds suspicious, call the police. We'll come look into it. But don't be giving your personal information out over the phone to people that just call you out the blue and tell you some sob story. Call us, we'll verify it, or you can call back your credit card company or whoever and verify that information. And lastly, I want to wish everybody a safe and happy 4th of July, and happy birthday to America.
Councilman Asbill?
Still the safest city in Louisiana?
Still the safest city in the state.
Councilman Asbill?
Thank you, Chief. So I'd also like to thank the citizens for going out and approving the millage. I wish we would have had a better turnout. We need people to show up to elections and tell us what they're thinking, otherwise we don't know. Special thank you to Councilman Chatelain on the millage. He made the decision for the city to put out an informational campaign. I think that was good. I think it was a good mail piece. It was some good social media posts for the citizens to understand exactly what the millage is for, and that it was not a new tax, it was a renewal. So I appreciate your leadership on that. Soniat Playground, it is scheduled to, I'm going to keep giving this update, it's scheduled to begin construction in August. It should take a few weeks. The play set over there, there's a rendering out in the lobby of City Hall if you'd like to check it out, if you're here tonight or come in one day to see that. This is going to cap off in the past year and a half or so, $1.5 million invested in just play sets in the city of Harahan. So that's an amazing accomplishment. That doesn't include gym upgrades, Memorial Park, and field upgrades. So that's pretty exciting. The senior center restrooms have been completed. Those have been upgraded and are really nice. There's some pictures on Facebook if you want to look at those, but you can also go over there any day of the week and check them out. It's a really upscale renovation that's been done. It should help us bring in some more revenue with hall rentals and whatnot to get that place. And that $50,000 project caps off $400,000 in senior center repairs over the past couple of years. Investments coming from the city, the state, and the parish. So those are all good things that are happening on the city, and just want to finish up by just saying happy birthday, America.
Councilman Buddy?
Well, I too want to say thank you to the citizens who voted for the tax renewal, supporting the police department. It was crucial that it passed. It would have had a very detrimental effect had it not passed. And it makes me feel good to know that the citizens support our police department, who keep us safe. So I'm appreciative of that. And this is our 250th birthday as a nation. No inconsequential feat. I hope we have 250 more. So enjoy the 4th of July. Be safe. And again, thanks for stepping up and voting for that renewal.
Councilman Chatelain?
Well, I think Councilman Asbill covered most of it. I do want to thank the people. I mean, everybody's sitting here saying, thank you all supporting the police, guys. I believe the police were going to get funded. I had confidence the city was going to get up and vote for the police. But in the same note, we need to fund our police. I think most people live in the city of Harahan because we are the safest city in the state of Louisiana. And I'll go as far as to say we're probably one of the safest cities in the United States. I'm comfortable with our police, guys. I mean, I know everyone here is very comfortable calling the police and they're going to show up. We are having a little problem with the 911 system through Jefferson Parish right now. Sometimes we call it 911 and we expect fire to be dispatched. It's not our fire department that's not responding to some of these little calls we have with little emergency issues, medical issues. They're not getting dispatched. So we ask the police, when they get there, if it is a medical dispatch that the fire can help with, the police are going to call and get fire dispatched as well. So we're all working with the fire chief and Jefferson Parish and all to figure out, why we aren't getting dispatched to some of these medical calls. And a lot of places don't dispatch fire to these calls, but Harahan, we spoiled. We want to call 911 and have everybody show up, and if it's something that we need them for, it works out great. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for getting out and supporting that millage. It made it's a big difference for the city. I mean, it's a $500,000 budget for the city. Thank y'all. Happy 4th of July. Happy birthday, America. That's about it. Thank y'all.
Councilman Johnston?
Yeah, I just want to thank the citizens for voting for the millage, too. As if you notice that a lot of millages and a lot of different amendments that the state put up has been failing, and I was concerned about this millage. Y'all did a good job getting out there, getting on that mail-out piece. Whoever did it was a good piece. It went out to the citizens, let the citizens know that we definitely need to take care of our police department. We are the safest city in the state, and we need to continue to fund the police department. And the police department has, got to have the money to get the policemen out there and protect the citizens. So I'm glad it passed. It passed 66% of the people voted for it. That's fantastic. It really is. I was concerned about it when it first went out, but I thought it would pass, but I thought it might pass 53 to 47. But when I saw the returns, 66% voted for it. That's great. Citizens realize that the police are very important to the city, and the fire department is very important to the city. So the fire mill was passed, I think, last year. They passed the fire mill. So it's good to have a good fire department and a good police department. And Chief, I want to thank you and your police department for doing such a fantastic job. Thank you. And everybody have a happy 4th of July. Thank you.
So I appreciate, like everyone else on this council and the mayor, everybody getting out and voting for the millage. I would say that that definitely shows confidence in our police department. I would also like to say happy 4th of July, happy birthday, America. Please be safe if you're out popping fireworks, and be respectful of your neighbors. Again, be nice. And, I encourage everybody to have a great time and be very, very observant of people doing things they shouldn't be doing, popping fireworks and things like that. So just try not to keep our fire department too busy.
Tim, one thing. If you are going to be out shooting fireworks, make sure you have a fire extinguisher or a hose close by just in case something happens. And if you're out partaking, make sure you have a designated driver to bring you home.
Councilman Chatelain, you did a fine job helping promote the millage for the police department. When I moved here a little over 20 years ago, I moved here to raise my children because this was a safe place, and I knew that basically someone would snatch them off the front lawn, and it meant the world to me. And, I work with the police officers quite a bit, and these guys are awesome, and they don't get paid a lot. And for some of them to stay here, I mean, they really do it for the love of the city and love for what they're doing here. And I think you respected that in your mail piece, and you respected the way you got the hustle out to get this millage across the board. And I appreciate that because, it continues to keep us safe. So I wanted to personally thank you for that. I want to say, of course, happy birthday to America, 250 years. It's incredible to have done a thing like that. I got to be the mayor through the 100-year celebration of Harahan, and then I get to be the mayor through the 250th celebration of America. This has been one incredible ride being mayor. After this legislative session, and we're trying to total it up now, so far in my past 7.5 years, I have brought, I believe, right under $30 million of extra income to the city. When I set on this task years ago, my goal was to bring 1 year's of budget. And that year, when Councilman Craig Johnston, and Councilman Wheeler on the council with me, that budget was right over $6 million. And that was our goal. We were going to bust butt, and we were going to bring in 1 year's of budget. Well, we ended up bringing in 5 years of budget. But you two guys out there, and I can't wait to see you guys back up here again, hopefully one day. You were the beginning of the driving force to making all of this happen, and you certainly put the fuel in me and the belief in me to know that I can get it done, even with Councilman Wheeler yelling at me sometimes. But she was always right, and I always listened, and she taught me well, and I will always appreciate that. I love being mayor. Sometimes I'm going to do the right thing when it ain't the right thing. I will fix what I got to do here. I will move. I will end up moving the funding over to the general fund just to make sure it comes out of capital so Councilman doesn't deal with any responsibility if we do go over budget, and I'll make it happen. But guys, when you call me and you need something, I'm coming, and it doesn't matter what time, day or night. I ran here to give you my heart and soul for 8 years, and that's what you will get from me, my heart and soul. No matter how it goes, we will make it happen. Again, I want to wish everybody a very happy 4th. Please be safe, and that's it. That's been from me, Madam Clerk.
Pay bills. Bills paid in May 2026. Total expenditures, $588,915.64. You already did executive session. Adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Madam Clerk forgot to give me my gavel today, so I'm just going to... We are adjourned.